how does fasting help heal the body, and what conditions can fasting help to heal? And what I would actually point out to you, Adam, is that fasting does not heal the body in any way, and it doesn't cleanse the body either. Because, like every other organism, the human body is both self-cleansing and self-healing. Okay? So what fasting does is it simply gives the body the optimal conditions to cleanse and heal itself. And this is really important to understand, because almost anything else you can do, whether it's acupuncture or it's herbs or it's homeopathic remedies or it's drugs, what all these things are doing, as far as I can tell, is treating or suppressing symptoms. And most people are perfectly happy to have their symptoms suppressed. Okay, I got something that's bothering me. You can give me something to make it stop bothering me? Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds good. Why wouldn't it? Well, the reason why is because the symptoms that we experience are actually evidence that the body is cleansing or healing or attempting to do that. So when we suppress symptoms, we wind up making the body more toxic. As I think I may have said to you guys the other day, we actually create chronic disease by suppressing acute symptoms. Let's look at hypertension, for instance. There are hypertensive drugs that slow down the heart. Okay? Because, as I explained to you guys, we talked about blood pressure. What determines how much oxygen and nutrients reach the brain is the combination of pressure in the artery and heart rate. So if we have this tube that's full of plaque and we can't change that so easily, I mean, we can't open you up and ream it all out, right? But if we don't want to do that, what do? Well, we take these drugs that make the heart beat more slowly. Isn't that wonderful? Because obviously Pfizer Pharmaceuticals knows better than my body how fast my heart should be beating. Of course not. So what's the number one side effect of this kind of medication? Depression. Okay? Why? Because that's what happens when we don't get enough nutrients and oxygen to the brain. We get depressed. That, I should say, that's the number one reported side effect. Number one unreported side effect of these medications is stupidity, for the same reason. Your brain don't work so good when you don't get enough oxygen and nutrients. Okay? It's not going to be able to do what it needs to do if it's not getting the nutrients it needs. But that's what these drugs do. Because they're artificially slowing down the heart rate, we're not getting the same quantity of oxygen and nutrients to our brains. How can this be a good idea? Answer, it's not. And by the way, these drugs don't statistically increase your lifespan by 5 minutes, let alone a year or at 5. They have no beneficial impact on lifespan, life extension. Why not? Because your body is still sick. You've only suppressed one symptom. It was a symptom of a problem in the first place. It was a symptom of a messed up toxic system. We haven't changed that. We just artificially slowed the heart rate down so our blood pressure looks okay. Let's not be surprised when we die, even with the drugs, because we haven't fixed anything. It's a scam. Okay? Drugs are toxic, they make people more sick, and they don't fix anything. What does? What does heal the organism? The organism. The body heals itself. There's nothing we can do to it to make it better. The best thing we can do to make it better is to get the heck out of its way, which is what fasting properly is about, which is why I said to you the other day, because Adam just got here, right? Rest as completely as you can. That's how we get out of the body's way. We stop using energy to do other things. So when we look at what conditions can it help with, the answer is pretty much all conditions. Because all we're doing is giving the body the optimal conditions and opportunity to heal itself. So if something can be healed, it will heal more effectively by fasting.
Symptoms
What symptoms are to be expected? Well, pretty much a whole range of symptoms. Again, when we understand that fasting is simply giving the body a chance to cleanse and heal, and that symptoms are evidence the body's cleansing and healing, we can expect all kinds of symptoms. So again, if we look at the people that have been here over the last 6 weeks, we've seen headaches and stomach aches and sinus congestion and acid reflux and diarrhea and vomiting and fevers and nausea and aches and pains and pretty much anything you can imagine. And as long as we understand what the body's doing and can properly interpret what's going on, we can usually keep people safe, and these things aren't an issue. They're always going to be self-limiting, which means they're going to stop happening when the body's done what it's able to do. Yeah, so the question was, what conditions are unsafe to fast with? How can we know if someone's in danger? Anorexia was volunteered as a condition that's unsafe to fast with. In fact, any condition, any wasting condition where somebody has no reserves. So it could be advanced cancer or AIDS or other conditions where they've already lost all their body fat. They're living on essential fat and they're now consuming their muscle, as happens with anorexia. You've seen anorexics that are just literally skin and bones. These people can't fast because fasting means you're living on reserves. They don't have any. Okay? They're already starving to death. If they stop eating completely, they're only going to starve faster. Okay? We had a type 1 diabetic here recently. My condition to her was, you must stay all raw before you fast. Raw vegan before you fast. It's a good idea for anybody. It's more critical for someone with that kind of condition. What's going on in her body. But everyone's going to do much better. First of all, if you eat an optimal diet for, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks before you come, you're going to get further ahead even before you start to fast. You're going to benefit more from the time fasting because you're going to be starting at a higher level of health and vitality. You're going to have already done some of that work. You're also going to ensure that there's less garbage in the digestive tract. Now, some people are carrying literally decades worth of old stuff in the body. A month of an optimal diet's not going to change that, but it's going to improve it. It's going to allow some of that stuff to start to move out, and we're not going to be contributing to it anymore. Similarly, you want to meet all your body's needs as well as you can for the same reason. Giving your body a chance to do as much as possible by making sure you're getting enough sleep, getting the sunlight you need if you can. You're coming here from Finland and Sweden and Norway in the middle of the winter time. You haven't had a lot of opportunity to get much sunlight. Okay, but those of you who have access to it somewhere, or the UK, have access to it somewhere, you want to get it if you can. Okay, it's meeting all your body's needs as well as you can for at least a few weeks before coming. That makes sense.